Welcome to East London. East London is known for its colorful and exuberant lifestyle and for its mixed migrants and its adventures and mysterious histories. East London's history goes way back from medieval and Victorian times when the first migrants came from Eastern Europe and settled in Brick Lane and Commercial Road within Whitechapel. Whitechapel is a district within East London, England, in the London Borough of Tower Hamlet. It is located 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers east of Charing Cross and roughly bounded by the Bishopsgate through Fair on the west, Fashion Street on the north, Brady Street and Cavill Street on the east, and the highway on the south. It has been a poor and working class neighborhood for a long time, perhaps best known for being the location of the infamous Jack the Ripper murders in the late 1880s. With no jobs and prosperity in life, and the Depression crept in. When drugs and alcohol and prostitution was booming, and with it, the crime rates raised up. That's where Jack the Ripper's story came to light. Jack the Ripper's story began in Whitechapel and Commercial Road, where a prostitute hung out for business and kidnapped by Jack the Ripper and taken to Brick Lane and raped and mutilated and murdered in a very horrific way. Jack the Ripper became the first criminal killer that puzzled Scotland Yard. To this day, nobody knows who Jack the Ripper is. Some say artist, some say doctor, and never caught and got away with it. Centuries later, the Irish and the Jew migrated to East London, bringing religion and cultural diversity with them. The Jew built their synagogues in the center of Brick Lane, worshipping and trading gold and jewelry and carpets, while the Irish were doing the hard and the odd jobs like labor and art and music and theatre, expanding East London all the way to Stratford. By 1960s, East London became a gangland, bringing the Craze Brothers and their favorite meet-up, the Blind Beggar's Pub in Whitechapel. The Blind Beggar is a public house built in 1894 and named after the legend of Henry de Montfort, a son of Simon de Montfort, on Whitechapel Road leading to Mile End and Bethnal Green Road, to Columbia Road and the Flower Market, the Royal Oak and the Birdcage Pub to be precise, until they were arrested for the crime they committed over the years. Can you tell us a little bit history about the Blind Beggar?
Yeah, of course. So, as you walk in through the entrance here, this whole section is a new extension. So in 1966, at the time of the shooting, this area wasn't there. There would have been a wall that came all the way across until about the fireplace. So if you follow me this way, the original entrance was the gentleman's toilets, just here. So that's why we've got two ladies now. One of them was a gentleman's toilet before. And this is the original front of the pub in this picture here. So we were facing onto this side of the road before, as opposed to this side. So we were facing this way previously. So we're a listed building, which means that we can't change the shape or size of the bar. So the bar is exactly the same shape and size as what it was in 1966. If I give this a knock, you can hear it's hollow. So underneath this wood are metal pillars, which were there originally, and that's the only thing that's different about the bar now. It's just covered in wood. So George Cornell was sat on a bar stool just there. Ronnie Cray comes in through the entrance. There's a warning shot that's made at the ceiling, and that was made by one of his bodyguards. And you can see that hole in the square there that's not been painted.
Yeah.
Then he gets shot through the head it ricochets off of the end of the metal bar and over here, just above this gentleman's head. So this here, in this picture frame, is the original wallpaper from 1966, and that in the middle is the bullet hole that killed George Cornell.
By 1980s, we have the Asians and African migration, Bangladeshi and Somali communities bringing with them Islam and exotic and colorful culture and tasty curry and perfume and henna and music and Diwali carnival. The Somali and Bangladeshis are the most visible migrants group today, who makes up over 60% of the Whitechapel Ward total population. The Islander Mosque at the end of Whitechapel Road is a major symbol of the resident Islamic community. The mosque group was established as early as 1910, and demand for a mosque grew as the community grew rapidly over the years. In 1985, this large purpose-built mosque with a dome was built in the heart of Whitechapel, attracting thousands of worshippers every week. And it was further expanded with the London Muslim Centre in 2004, and now home of Asian migrants coming to London with its rich and colourful organic spice, and Asian shops and restaurants and businesses are everywhere to be seen.
Hi, my name is Jamal Khalik. I'm one of the brothers who owns Taj International Supermarket. As you know, Taj International Supermarket has been established since 1946, so it makes us 86 years this year, being a third generation running the family business. But we also kind of diversified our businesses to properties and other small businesses. I was actually born and brought up. I was born in 1970s. I was born in Brick Lane, which makes me as a typical Cockney Asian Eastender. A quick kind of history about this area. Back in 1970, when we were growing up, it wasn't as nice as this. It was very dark, it was very smelly, it was very dangerous, and it was the most racial motivated area. So we used to come and get racial attacks very regularly by a group called BNP, which is the British National Fronts. And so, yes, but now, putting everything in perspective, after our elderly generation fought and stood up the racial attacks, we managed to it became a more of a Bangladeshi area, which makes it like a second Bangladesh, which they officially named it as Bangla Town. But now there's another gentrification happening very fast, very quickly, and things are changing. All the Bangladeshis are moving out, all the working class, and I call it arty and farty people. People are coming in into the area, residing, opening boutique shops, and so forth.
But to all this exotic and colorful culture, there's a still curse of East London's dark side of life, which is drug and alcohol abuse and prostitution. Brick Lane in the evening and weekends is full of life and shows the success story of many British Asian migrants. Their restaurants trade helped turn this once somewhat turned down area into one of the most vibrant and iconic streets of London. But a few hundred yards away in the dark alleys of Whitechapel, you come across a completely different world. We can see young Asian boys and girls wait in the street late at night. They beg money and offer themselves to you because they are involved in drugs or different reasons. They all have different stories to tell, and at the same time, there are places where they can go and get help and support, but scared because it is taboo, coming from a special Muslim Asian family scared of honor and breaking the boundaries. Some of these stories were mentioned in Monica Ali's award-winning debut novel, Brick Lane, sets on and around the event of 9/11. Brick Lane primarily focuses on life in Britain for young, poor, non-English speaking Muslim Bangladeshi girl has been brought to Britain for an arranged marriage. Drug addiction among the younger generation of British Asians has been known for a long time, but all turned blind eye to the problem for a number of reasons, not knowing how to deal with it, or where to go and seek help or advice. Some say it is taboo and there is no help. It is no good anyway. You could still get back to it. No future. So they join up with any kind of gangs who support their addiction or others. Tonight, we meet one of those troubled young men, but we keep his identity hidden for legal and safety and security reasons. He wants to be anonymous.
I went into drug dealing because of money and to get what I wanted, basically, like all the boys in the hood. I don't know when I started, but it was about when I was 15. That's when I started drug dealing. So I was pretty young, probably when I was in college. Well, there was a lot of impact with my friends and my family. Well, first of all, with my friends, I lost a lot of friends, decent friends, because I never used to, well, whoever I used to hang around with, decent one, they never used to coach with me because of what I was, and I was bad news. I used to get bad news in the area and whatnot. My family, they started to suss out basically what I was doing, the money I used to get, and I was out most of the night, so that way it got fucked up with my family. Well, I used to have a girlfriend and a good relationship before, but after I started drug dealing, she didn't like it. Obviously it was dodgy and that, and she was a decent girl too, like my friends. So slowly, I never used to listen to her and whatnot. I started to chat to other girls, started to hang around with other girls, fucked around with her. So at the end, basically, I had money. Girls used to come to me. I know I was getting used, but I was getting the pleasure out of it too. So yeah, I've got many girlfriends. Oh, I had many girlfriends, so yeah. Well, besides me, there's a lot of drug dealers. 90% of young youths are drug dealers. Even if they don't do drug dealers, they're hustling something out of someone. So it's all dodgy down where I live. But most of it is to do with drugs. So yeah, there's a lot of people that do drug dealing. Yes, I used to take drugs before. The whole reason I got into drug dealing was to get my own shit. So I used to drug deal and make a bit of money so I could feed myself basically. And after that I made a lot of money, got off it, but I was on light drugs like skunk and that, but mainly I used to deal with crack cocaine, but I never used to take that. So yeah, I used to take drugs. But when I started drug dealing, as I said to you, gradually everything fucked up. So in relationship wise, with girlfriend, friends and that, it got fucked up. But my life standard, like living wise, I had money coming in left, right and centre. So for me that wasn't a problem. Clothes, cars, food, anything I wanted, I could get it the same day. Whatnot, people were working under me, so I didn't have to really lift my finger at all. And well, now that I've given up drug dealing, it's hard because I got used to money coming in, a lot of money coming in, so it's very hard now for me, but it's better in relationship run. I'd rather take relationship over money any day. So yeah, it's getting better now. I blame government the reason of me going into drug dealing, because they help others, I'm not being bad to pensioners, but they don't really need that much help, that much money going into them. They should put more money into youth. There's no youth class, there's no jobs for them, there's no work experience for them. What do they do to make money? Drug dealing. Everything could have been avoided. I mean, like, even now it could be avoided if we had resources, like if government done something about it for youths. Like, you know, if they gave us youth clubs, you know, courses to do anything really. Well, even now they're not really doing anything. So in our eyes, they're not really doing anything. So if they can avoid that, they should do what they need to do, and I'm sure they know that, but they're not really doing anything about it. Well, I used to get drugs from a lot of people. When I first started, I used to obviously get it from my other mates who used to do drug dealing. I never used to know who was the main guy who, like overseas and that. I don't know who used to get it, but when I started to gradually make more money, I had to get big amounts. So after that, I had to go to one person I know that he used to get big amounts from other countries. But to know them kind of people, you need to be quite high on drug dealing tree, basically. So yeah, can't name any names, but yes. Well, after I knew a lot of people who used to do big amounts, I used to buy it from them. I used to get big amounts too. What I used to do, cut into pieces, making smaller pieces. Overnight, I used to get my workers to work for me. And well, we used to work about 2-3 hours during the night. Once it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, it was like little pebbles. We used to call it pebbles. We used to go in the car, and well, I had a SIM card, and most of the people gradually got that number, knowing that this person sells drugs. So they used to call us. We used to go to that location, and we used to run it for about 13 hours a day, and we used to go from various locations to sell drugs, basically. And the people we used to sell it to was all kind, white, black, Asian, everyone really who takes drugs, young, older lots, age group to probably from 15 to 7-year-olds. Obviously, I regret a lot of stuff. I fucked up a lot of people's lives by selling drugs. I could have avoided that, made people better, but yes, I do have regrets because I fucked up my own life, fucked up my family's life, fucked up my friend's life, fucked up all the relationships with everyone. So yeah, I regret everything really. I'll do something better. Now I'll do everything differently if it was before. My advice to other people right now would be never get into drug dealing, because it will fuck up everything. You wouldn't want to go into that place, and I would say just go into education and work, basically. Never get into drug dealing. So please, whoever it is who's doing it, don't get into drug dealing.